I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
You know, in a way, this is the kind of movie that pisses me off the most, where I'm rather enjoying the film. I am. Not perfect, not 10 out of 10, but I'm rather enjoying the film. In particular because Stephen Dorff, who was in The Gate in the 80s, he was the villain in Blade. I thought he did a really good job, one of his best acting roles. Being in a limited space, kind of like the Ryan Reynolds film Buried. But here he works for Secret Service, that type of job description. He's locked in the back of a car, in the trunk, I should say. And even in the trunk of this vehicle, he's in this glass box. And there's this clock ticking down, there's radio and such, and pretty much they want him to... The bad guys want him to give up the location of these secret bunkers that are used by the president, the vice president, others, in case of a national emergency. And he's like, no, I'm not going to give it up, and they keep increasing things, and things keep building up more and more and more. The clock will count down 3 minutes or then 4 minutes, and each time it counts down to 0, something worse and worse happens. Like they'll put bees in him, even though and he's allergic to it, but they still find a way to keep him alive. Or I didn't do other stuff. You even get into some high-speed chases. It's interesting to see a high-speed chase in the vein of being in the trunk, and there's a little bit of lights around, and he's bouncing back and forth, and he did more and more hurt. They burn his hand with a cigarette lighter. During one of the chases, there's a shotgun shot. It goes through and it hits the glass and wounds his leg, or he bashes against the glass and fucks up his nose and lip, and there's this CB radio to talk to the other hostage, and he's like, please tell him I got a wife and kid. It's like, I can't, I don't know if I can even trust you. And then you develop more and more. You find out a bit more and more what's going on, and dealing with his ex-wife and contact with her. Is she going to be safe? Is she not going to be safe? There may be a point where he gets rescued. That doesn't work out. It just increasing more and more. And yes, anytime you get this type of situation, there's always that part of you that goes, would I think that way? Would I do that way? But then there's the other part of your brain going, well, in a stressful situation, who knows what we would do? And that's the funny thing when you look at a movie, we want to say we want things to be realistic, but a lot of people do dumb stuff, and that's the realistic notion. So how realistic can you get? People do dumb things, If every person has a different wave pattern in their brain, they think of a situation in a different way. Flight or fight. Talk shit or stay silent. And if you're the opposite of that, then you don't think that person's stupid, but at the same time, a good chunk of the other audience goes, well, no, I would react that way. So that's always the thing in your brain. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay, I'm more so than Buried. Like, I'm sorry, Buried, no, I did not like the ending of Buried with Ryan Reynolds, but I didn't like the rest of the film. Ryan Reynolds was fine, but when he's inside, I don't know, it just wasn't that exciting. And like the bit with the snake, even that, I'm like, what the fuck? And at least here, being in the back of her car, it's easier for the bad guys to do stuff, and there's this tube to give them stuff, or easier for my brain to comprehend how certain things happen, and then going around during a car chase and what he's hearing, like, it felt like there was more to it. It felt that the story building up was more and more interesting to me as to where this is going. Now, of course, this situation is going to go one of three ways. Normal, okay, happy, sad, or twist. I guess technically that could be for every ending. And then they get to the ending. And they completely fucked it up. They fucked it up at the ending. And sometimes people ask, what's a movie that you liked, but then the ending ruins it? I know there are others, and then I forget about them. The reason I forget about them is because I want to forget about them. Because that notion of, oh, I'm really enjoying the film. Again, it's not a 10 out of 10 perfect, but Stephen Dorff does a really good job. The way the back is lit, the way it uses its limitations, so it's almost like a radio play as we're watching this person, hearing certain things, and maybe getting contact with devices he's able to get to for X, Y, and Z reasons. I gotta do spoilers. There's two endings, technically. The first one I was fine with. The first one, I'm like, I actually liked it. If it ended with this, I would have been fine. I would have gone, yeah, this is an underrated film. It might not be your cup of tea, but I really enjoy it. But they couldn't leave it alone. They could not leave it alone. Just things are going up. Oh, chase with the cop. Cop behind him, realizing he's in a police car. What the fuck's going on? He's getting some contact with one of his superiors. It's Tom Berenger. I can recognize his voice. Oh shit, what's going on? It's being flooded. Boom, it opens up. And it's part of an exercise detail. Because Tom Berenger and his group want him to be part of the actual presidential detail. A one big stress test. And Stephen Dorff looks around and he sees like a motorcycle and like a car and a person he once saw in the little hole of the trunk. People with equipment all around that were the other voices. And people who say that's too much, too insane. Oh, that's insane. That would never happen. Or that's insane. They'd be too over the top. Or that's insane. There's that doubt. Well, he did get hurt. What if he died and this and that? Look up McCamey Manor. McKamey Manor. It's a haunted house attraction that goes very far at what it does. McCamey Manor. And sadly, that's more crazy than what happened in this movie. And even more disturbing because that's real life. And yeah, just beware when you look it up. I'll say that. Again, McCamey Manor. McKamey Manor. And don't say I didn't warn you on that. But, so, kind of like in a way, the ending of the game with David Fincher. Yes, what's the word I'm looking for? It stretches credibility. I understand that. For people, it may be too much of a stretching of capability of the stress test. Try to do 2 sentences too quick, so I'm blending them. But I could deal with it. I'm like, okay, interesting. But then his ex-wife, who he's known for years, apparently, he gets in. He makes one little nod to, like, the Washington Monument or something. She contacts someone else, and it might be Tom Berenger's voice or someone else. Okay, the operation is at hand. So, oh no! That whole stretch was just to get him loosened up. Hey, look, it's all right and fine. And then, not even like a quantified response. It just, he looked at something. He looked at Washington Monument. He could be saying how he loves fucking America. Or thinking America the Beautiful in his fucking head. No, they just go along with that. That must be it. That must be where the presidents are. That must be where the president, vice president, they just go along with that very quickly. They just... No confirmation, no, like, he didn't even say they're in this address. No. And all this, and so she gasses him, because I guess she's been a traitor all along, among whoever the hell else was there. He's sucked up the gas, and then the movie ends. I guess with him dying, bad guys do what they want, because he made a faint notion, because he's in the back of an ambulance and he saw Washington Monument. That's literally what he did. What a lame duck fuck of an excuse of an ending. And the movie's ruined for that. The movie's completely ruined. And I fucking hate that. Because I don't like bitching about movies. I don't. I love finding movies that I find to be gems. Or underrated. Wow, never heard of this film before. This is pretty damn good. Pretty damn fun. Or pretty damn solid. I thought I was getting one of those. And then it fucks you in the ass with a stupid, shitty, double twist of an ending. The first twist I could deal with. I'm like, that's fine. The second twist is a bit fuck you to the audience. Not only because of the negative connotations, but it's even more insulting to the intelligence of the audience. Even more insulting, even more confusing, even more questions get raised up, and it just flat out fucking sucks. With all the stuff Stephen Dorff goes through, all this stuff, like, Jesus Christ. Why? It's because directors and writers, they think they're so clever, they gotta try to out-clever, but it'd be too predictable. That's not a bad thing. 2 plus 2. You know what the predictable answer? 4. I'm not going to say 2 plus 2 equals 7. Oh, you didn't predict that. No. That's not how it goes. In this case, no, I don't think that's how it should have went. The first twist was fine. The second twist was fucking bullshit. Fucking hell. I sit there and it makes you ask even more questions about why they did this and why they did that and how did this happen. And They didn't even get 100% confirmation from Stephen Dorff. Sorry, I don't know what to say. They fucked you in the ass. They fucked up at the end. That's all I can say. Pissed me off. So we'll see you guys later. Fuck this. I wanted to say, wow, I really enjoyed this movie, but the ending fucking ruined it.